How's it going, everybody? Steven from Retro here, back with a brand new video, and in today's video I will be looking at 5 games that you need to get day one if you're thinking about buying or picking up a Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, what is an SNES, or Super Nintendo Entertainment System? Whatever you want to call it. Most commonly called an SNES. But what is it? Well, it's a retro console, and if you're watching this channel and you're interested in retro gaming, you most likely know what it is. It's one of the most defining consoles of the 90s, one of Nintendo's best retro consoles. I actually like it better than the original NES, so. But in this video, we will be looking at 5 games I have hand-selected that are relatively inexpensive. You know, we're talking the $20 to $50 range. And they're just classics. They're really good games, and they're games that you need to get the first day you purchase a Super Nintendo. So I will be starting out with my number 1 pick, and this number 1 pick is it's a classic. It's regarded as one of the best platforming games of all time, and that is Super Mario World. Now, Super Mario World is the classic, definitive masterpiece platformer from the genius mind of Shigeru Miyamoto. The guy who created Mario himself. Words can't describe how I feel about this game. It's nostalgic for me. I grew up with it. It is an amazing platformer. It does everything a platformer should do, and it basically improved everything the original Super Mario did, and so many platforming games take so much inspiration from it. Even platforming games today and platforming games that came after it, they took so much inspiration from this game, because this game set so many standards, and it set a bar of creativity and just design quality to a higher level. It's such an amazing game. And so, like, if you buy a Super Nintendo, this game should come glued in to the cartridge slot. Like, it should be the game that comes with your Super Nintendo. I think it was the best-selling Super Nintendo game as well. But it's just an amazing game. You have to get it. And it's relatively cheap. You can get it for like $17, $20 on eBay. So, now, that was the elephant in the room that everybody was expecting. But let's get that out of the way, and let's go to some other really good games for the Super Nintendo. These ones are also probably pretty predictable. The next one I have to choose is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. By far one of my favorite Zelda games, and it is probably one of the best 2D Zelda games ever made. It's a classic Zelda adventure from beginning to end. It has that same gameplay style that was defined in the very first Legend of Zelda, but it's more linear and it's more story driven. It's a more complete experience. But it takes emphasis off the open world, and you're mostly focusing on a single narrative. But all the classic Zelda charm is still here. The dungeons are amazing. Everything about it, all the mechanics, everything from beginning to end is just fantastic. It is just a fantastic, classic action-adventure RPG game. And it's also pretty cheap. It clocks in at around $40 to $50 on eBay, so a little more pricier than some of the other ones on this list, but it's definitely worth it. Alright, now we're down to my last 3 picks. Still going strong here. We have Super Metroid as my next pick, which is fantastic. I call this the Halo before Halo. It's an awesome platforming shooter game, but not only is it at the top of its class in its genre, its graphics for the time are absolutely breathtaking. Its story was amazing. Everything about this is pretty good. Just awesome controls, super fun, a ton of different varieties of enemies and environments, and beautiful graphics make this an awesome platforming shooter experience that you need to experience on the Super Nintendo. Definitely pretty cheap. It's around like $20-$30, so. Next, we have one that I was actually contemplating swapping out for a different game, which I'll announce that at the end of the video. But I decided to go with this game because not only is it a super beloved franchise, unlike the other one. Don't get me wrong, it's beloved, but it's not as a recognized franchise. Not as well recognized, I should say. And so this started an awesome franchise which people and Nintendo fans still cherish and love to this day. And it also set a technical feat at the time for the hardware it was running. And that is Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. Now this actually has it has its own separate chip called the Super FX chip built into the cartridge just so it can handle basic 3D polygons. And, well, by today's standard, if you're bothered by really low frame rates and archaic, graphics, which, if you're retro gaming, you should learn to appreciate that, it may not be as fun of an experience, but if you put those things aside, the game is still stellar and fantastic. It does run at a slightly lower frame rate, it appears, than other Super Nintendo games, just because of all the processing power required to run it. But don't let that catch you off guard. It's still a fantastic on-rails shooter. You take on the role of Star Fox and you're in your squad, basically dodging around, shooting enemies, all that kind of fun stuff. It's fantastic. So, definitely a feat for its time. It's awesome to see how far video games have come since Star Fox. And so, I recommend that you pick this up, and it's also pretty cheap. I actually saw it on eBay as low as $15, so that should give you an idea. Now, my last pick. And I decided to choose this just because of its pure fun factor, and that has to be FZero. Now, this was a great example of how the Super Nintendo handled Mode 7 graphics, which is basically like fake 3D. And to me, this holds a more special place in my heart, just because I love the aesthetic, I love the super fast gameplay, and it's probably my favorite racing game on the Super Nintendo. This is also pretty cheap, around 20 bucks. Fantastic game, definitely get it, super great. So these are my 5 top picks for Super Nintendo games that you should get day one if you're thinking about picking up an SNES. What do you guys think of the video? Did you like it? Dislike it? Are there picks that you disagreed on or picks you agreed on? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have suggestions for future videos, be sure to leave them in the comments. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel to support the channel for future videos. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay cool.